Right, so here we are, sports fans, back again for another episode of the F1 Road to Glory 2019 series here. You guys were loving the very first debut episode of this series, and I think you'll got to agree with me, it was a resounding success and an overwhelming result for Williams in the end, wasn't it? Up in smokes goes our teammate there, Robert. He's going to be out of the Grand Prix. Now the Renault's got... What? What? But there we have it. We're out the Grand Prix. Oh yeah, I forgot. It wasn't a success. It was a failure. But nevertheless, spirits are still high at Williams. Somehow. You know, ignorance is bliss. I don't think we quite know how bad we have it. We've only done one race. I mean, it can't get any worse possibly. So let's just plow on then. The rebuild job went really well, I think, back at the factory to get our cars both ready for the Bahrain Grand Prix after we crashed both cars out here. There's actually some live shots from some of our workers early on, working on the car when they got into the paddock at Bahrain. And so with that tremendous example and feat of British engineering, we're going to move on then, straight into qualifying. But like I said, the team spirit is actually quite high after that first episode. You know, Melbourne, it's a very unique circuit, you know, street circuit. It's not really representative. I think coming to a thoroughbred, actual purpose-built circuit here for racing cars will really show off the class of this. Oh, we've missed the apex at turn 1 by about a mile. Cool, may as well have been in Qatar whilst going through that corner. Surely later on in the lap, though, I think things could go a little bit better as we turn in left here and understeer completely nearly off and then have a bit of a tank slapper itself. So, yeah, no, the car is not got any better since Australia. We've had no upgrades, obviously, so how could things possibly get better? This car literally feels like a kayak with 4 wheels on it. We may as well have a sail in the middle for stability because, as you can clearly see, there's nothing strong and stable about this car, much like Brexit, really. As we go through the last corner, completely wide, the game just gives us a second screen freeze in a row because may as well kick a man while it's down and across the line.
Nice job.
And no, Jeff, it's not a good job. Stop saying that. If you say that a third time next episode, I might just have to go back there and shoot you. Kubica's still 3.3 off the pole time. The only difference from episode 1 to 2 is I've got slower at Bahrain, which is just fantastic because it clearly went so well at Australia for me that, you know, going slower at Bahrain is the key to doing better here at Sakir. Yeah, we've got a lot of praying to do. Bahrain is usually quite a good circuit for the AI, so I will be surprised if there are any more highlights apart from turn 1 of lap 1 for the following race, but you've been warned. So without further ado, let's just get into this, shall we?
Keep your eyes open on the run to turn 1 and keep it clean. We want to come out in one piece. Good luck.
Keep it clean out there and come out in one piece. Now, is that because you're worried about my driving standards and my safety concerns on lap 1? Or is it really because we as a team at Williams here don't have enough spare parts? So if I was to crash out, we couldn't even repair my car and we'd just have to retire straight away. I think we know which one is really the case here. But nevertheless, we're strapping ourselves in and getting ready for round number 2 of this season then at the Bahrain Grand Prix as we go to 5 red lights from 19th place on the grid. 4 lights are out and we're underway. It's actually a pretty okay start there. We're catching up to some cars here. We're actually catching on Ricciardo and Lando Norris, but not a lot of room to work with into turn 1. We brake early, go cautious, yellow flags, bit of contact made ahead of us. And oh, Romain Grosjean straight out the Grand Prix. We've gone around the outside of 2-3 cars. We've got an illegal overtake though on Giovinazzi. Clearly the FIA think it's impossible for us to overtake someone and not have it be illegal. And so we're down to 17th place, down to 18th place. So after all our hard work and great overtaking prowess into turn 1, the FIA have just slapped us back into place, and now we're nearly side by side with our teammate there for a second, where Kubica slots in back in behind me. We're now chasing back after Lando Norris after having overtaken him into turn 1. Saying that though, Lando caught napping a little bit on the outside of this left-hander. We're using a little bit of bump and draft there and using his side pod almost to claw our way through. We have to try every tactic in his Williams car, to be honest, but we've got some good straight line speed actually. Look at that, we actually powered past the McLaren there, but oh my god, we've nearly completely steered off there, so clearly haven't learned anything from qualifying about that corner and the lack of downforce and grip of our car compared to others, but we make it work anyway. We're still in 17th place somehow, but yeah, our car is actually quite good in straight line, so maybe this is a case of, think of our car like a big old NASA rocket ship with tiny little trolley supermarket wheels on the back and front. That's our car, basically. We've got a great car in a straight line. Just need to somehow get some downforce on this car in the coming races, which obviously we do have a rear downforce upgrade coming. And so for now, as we move on to lap number 2, we are in P15 as someone has made an early pit stop. So we've gone up 2 places there. So we're only 5 places off the point. So let's keep this cautious here and see how we do, because we move on to the end of lap 3. We've actually kept up and caught up to Giovinazzi here, because there's a big old train, a big fight. Obviously, the midfield in 2019 is so close, and it is the same way in this 2019 mod here on the game. And so you can see a whole gaggle of cars going 3 wide in, I think that is, of the Racing Point car, the Toro Rosso and the McLaren. Yeah, they're 3 abreast. Then you've got the Renault and Alfa Romeo car side by side. And look at that, 5 cars going so slow. We go around the outside of 1, nearly 2 and 3 as we go and get Carlos Sainz. And we might have a look at Daniel Ricciardo as well in the Renault, the man who took us out brutally at the end of last episode. We're getting revenge here. And look at this, we're up in P12. Steady on. No, I think my nose is going to start to bleed soon. We're so high up here. We've actually made overtakes. We're actually looking pretty oh god, we're looking pretty damn good, apart from a few little twitches here and there on the curbs. Obviously the car's very sensitive to the curbs, as Claire Williams has said many times. But look at this, we've got the pace to go down the inside of the Toro Rosso as well. We're going to drift through, lock up on the front tyre, we're going to send him wide, squeeze him out, and we're up into P11 there. There's another retirement maybe as well up ahead. I think it's Charles Leclerc. Yeah, Leclerc's retired, and so we're in P11. This is absolutely wonderful stuff here. And we're now maybe looking at Lance Stroll maybe in the next few laps, but at the moment you can see on the bottom right, we don't have a lot of ERS to play with, so I'm going to stick with none ERS for now, because I used quite a lot of the hot lap mode up trying to make that 3-man overtake into turn 1 on the previous lap. So DRS open, that's going to aid us a little bit with Rich Mix as well, but with none ERS, we're a sitting duck there. That's the Alexander Albon, comes down our inside in the Toro, so flies past. We're going to come back at him though. We're a little bit too deep, so he might have the inside there for the next corner, but we've got the inside crucially for turn 2, and so we can squeeze him out, and so we're going to maintain that P11. Albon will go back and defend against the Renault there, and the 2 McLarens, and Giovinazzi, who I think is trying to make a 2-man overtake there down the inside of Renault and Albon. But now we can maybe try and chase after Lance Stroll. We've got just about enough ERS now to play around with, maybe 2/3, but I'm still going to keep none for now, because we're actually catching up to Stroll anyway in this section here. So we've got some good grip in. Oh, someone else has retired. Look at that, 17 runners now. I think it's Sergio Perez, you know, because the pink dot on the right-hand side, I think he's parked up there. And so we're up into P10. We're in the bloody points here, lads, once again. But can we actually keep it this time, unlike Australia? Here we go, DRS open. We might get up into P9. We can get 2 championship points here. Down the inside we go, to the inside of Lance Stroll. We might understeer into him. We have to be careful of that as we try and keep it as tight as we can. And Lance Stroll is going to push us off the circuit there. He didn't assume a Williams was even going to try and hang around the outside there, but I can tell you very much, sir, we're wrestling the car through on the outside. We've kept it on the outside. We're still neck and neck with Lance Stroll. The Canadian probably can't believe it. He's thinking, who on earth is this? Why is the Williams car here? This wasn't in any of the simulation data we did back at the factory. Well, I can tell you, son, you didn't factor for me being in the car. Here we go, DRS open, down the straight, overtake mode, Rich Mix. It's going to be a drag race. It's Mercedes engine v Mercedes engine, but the Williams power's coming through. Here we go, down the inside. The Mercedes has made a pit stop. He's coming out, so he might try and be a spanner in the works to help me out and try and slow down Lance Stroll. So we are going to maintain that P5 for now, because obviously we've overtaken some cars being out of sync. But saying that, the tyre wear is starting to kick in. Even my engineer's banging on about it. So on lap 6, we're going to come in for our pit stop of the day, then box in this lap onto a set of soft tyres. But P5, and we were P9 once the pit stops shake out. So we're looking very good. Obviously, very much thanks to that 5-way scrap that happened that allowed me to overtake Ricciardo and the 2 McLarens, and also 1 or 2 or 3 DNFs so far in this race. Only 3 DNFs actually, so technically, P17 and 16 is where we kind of should be, but after those that midfield scrapped so hard and allowed me to come in, we did a mad thing and we got up the order. So we're P13 now as we come out down the pit lane, but there's going to be a close scrap behind me of Alexander Albon, and I think that's a McLaren car. I think I can see in the flash in my mirrors there. So the McLaren Toro Rosso side by side, and the Toro Rosso is going to get a stonking exit exit there off that corner compared to us. We're cold tyres, remember. Albon's been on one more lap, so his tyres are up to temperature. We're going to have to squeeze him into the inside, but we do so with good grace, and we're able to defend from him pretty damn well, actually, I've got to say. So we maintain that P13, but of course, obviously, this entire race so far, Albon's been the real pain in my arse so far on this Grand Prix, so of course, he's going to come back at us now as we move on to lap number 8. He's going to be on the right-hand side. We squeeze him to the right, and at the same time, Lance Stroll's out. Surely there's no more room to go on the inside. Think again. Down the inside we go with both cars, and we're up into P10. We're going to give the Racing Point car some room, and we're up there. There's some contact, yellow flags out. I think that might have been Albon who's made some contact, but we're up into P10. We're actually in the points. We've made the pit stop, and we're still in the points. Now it's just the question of how long can we hang on to this P10 position? How long can we try and grasp our first racing points of this season? Not very long. Not very... Alfa Romeo's past us. Oh, God. So that championship point position lasted a grand total of 3 laps. 3 laps. So good effort, lads. Good effort. So we're down to P11 now, but we're actually still quite close to Giovinazzi. Right now, we're saving some ERS. So let's try and keep positive here. We could still try and size up a move on the end of this lap, maybe. We've got the 2 McLarens right behind us. We have to watch out for that because they're going to be pouncing on us like foxes if we're not careful. But for now, I will line up a pass. We've got the ERS saved up a little bit. Going to go up to hot lap mode. Rich mix engaged. We're going to have DRS. Oh, what on... Are you kidding me?
DRS will be offline. There's a fault with the rear wing system. Stay out. We can work on a fix remotely.
You're going to try and work on a fix remotely for our DRS issue, huh, Jeff? I don't even want to imagine what that's going to look like. That's it, guys. Pack up. It's time to go home. We're on the second last lap of the Grand Prix. Instead of attacking Alfa Romeo with DRS, we're now defending against the McLarens with all our might to just try and get some, I don't even know, pride. Is it really even pride if we get P11 when we're up in P9 at one point in this race? I don't know, but Lando Norris is on our outside. He's also joined by the Renault and also the other McLaren, Carlos Sainz. We woefully lock up on the front right there, and they've actually sent one down the inside. It's a beautiful little switchback move for Lando Norris, but he's slow in the next right-hander, and we're going to force the issue. We literally drift the car across the circuit and just catapult the Williams across his path. That's the only way we can overtake people and defend in this season right now, is literally just thrusting the car into corners, closing our eyes, crossing our hands, and just hoping for the best, and hoping the other competitors around us are just scared off the track, basically, by a big white and purple toothpaste bottle coming at them on wheels. We now defend against Norris once again on the outside. Some carbon fibre has flailed with Ricciardo. There was a collision, I think, but I think that's on Ricciardo's fault because I was just trying to do my best job at defending against Norris. It's not my fault if I'm too slow for you into a certain corner for your liking. And so for now, we are maintaining this P11, but down the back straight here towards the last corner, Norris is going to come knocking. We're going to go to none ERS on purpose though, because I want to try and get the ERS back on him, and we're going to make a move to the inside. He's gone way too deep. Norris clearly has a lot to learn still in Formula 1 with that racing line, and so we're going to make that switch back and up into Rich Mix. No DRS actually, but still that'll be enough for us to try and maintain this position. We're going to go defensive again to the inside. Norris will come knocking for the 3rd or 4th time now in this Grand Prix. Defensive again into turn 1. Easy does it to turn 2. He's still there on the inside, so we have to leave in the room, and we ride the curb a little bit, but behind me, the 2 McLarens now scrap away in side by side, so they're going to squabble enough, and so that might just be enough to see us through into P11, but what could have it been? P10, we were P9 at one point, really, to be honest, and it just fallen away. The pace just wasn't there. Obviously, it was always never going to be there, but I thought I could have done a better job at maybe training the AI a little bit, but alas, I just couldn't. That Alfa Romeo was too quick for me, but in the end, it's still a finish. It's not a DNF, and it is a pretty lofty P11 for Williams, so I'll take that. I'll be happy with that. I'm satisfied, I think.
Nice work. You did well today. I think the boss will be happy with that one.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows.
So in the end, it was still a pretty damn good race for us. P11 in a Williams car, I will very much take that. And it's not a double DNF. Both cars finished the race. No points to show for it, but it will come eventually, I think. And to be honest, the important thing in here is we're not the only team with 0 points. McLaren also have 0 points. Both finished behind me today. And so, you know, I think the mantra is, you know, if we can't score points ourselves, we're at least going to drag down McLaren with us. And both of us can, in tandem, hold hands at the back of the grid here, for just being absolute shite.
You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled.
I looked really control of my car out there. That is a hilarious joke, Claire. That's hilarious. I try to put on a good show for the fans, a bit of drifting, but that's all I can say, really.
Do you have any comments about the collisions?
Well, what I'd like to say is everyone around me was vicious to me, and they're all just out for me and out to get me, but obviously I can't say that. It wouldn't be good PR, so I'll just go with no comment in the end.
Appreciate your time.
And I appreciate yours, Claire, especially when you're not condescending and saying it was a good race when we DNF. But at the end of this episode, then, we get an extra 400 resource points for finishing 18th or above. Yep, 18th or above, and they've given us an extra 400 points. Basically, they've given us an extra 400, an extra upgrade for just turning up. It's like a little teacher giving a participation trophy to a little kid who just does rubbish at the end of the race. Oh, good work, Jimmy, good work. Oh, you did your best. Here you go. Here's 400 points for turning up. Good stuff there. Love it when my own team condescends me. But there you go. 400 points. Not complaining. We can buy some extra reliability upgrades. And that'll help us out after next episode when the first upgrades come in for the Chinese Grand Prix. And boy, are we going to need it at the Chinese Grand Prix. Because our car might be quite good down that back straight at Shanghai. But we're going to need plenty of downforce and weight reduction upgrades through that middle sector. Especially. Otherwise our car is... Yeah, I'm going to have to be like Noah, parting the sea in a way. That's definitely not the right reference, but there you go. If you guys did enjoy this second episode of my F1 Road to Glory 2019 series, then be sure to smash that like button. Let me know your thought in the comments below. If you aren't here around here, subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content. I've been aarava, home today. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.